And welcome back here with the Rinkside Cam. I am Jean-Luc Bekker, and we are going to be watching some ice dance. Now, that's obviously my personal favorite. I'm a little biased, but you're going to see some unreal skating out here today. Our current world champions will be on the next practice, Madison, Chock, and Evan Bates. A lot of skaters here are trying to fight for those medals in order to get some points to go to the Grand Prix final. This is the 5th Grand Prix Skate America in Lake Placid of the 6th of the Grand Prix circuit. And our final one next week in Finland, which will be the finisher of the Grand Prix to get us to the final. So this week, we're going to see some crazy, crazy programs, some really interesting things in ice dance itself, just how it's developed and which direction it's going, and just seeing how these skaters are adapting with the styles. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of rhythm dance today, just being they're not competing until Saturday, so you're going to see rhythm dance today, I would imagine, but I could be wrong. But let's check to see who's on the ice, and we'll find out soon enough. All right, so in this, we're going to see a lot of really cool things, a lot of entertaining things. I mean, that's the theme that they're going for in the rhythm dance this year is 90s entertainment. So a lot of upbeat, a lot of fun, smiling, a lot of higher tempo as well. There is a requirement within the PST that it has to be at least 120 BPM, and then a lot of different level things. It's a lot of teams this year have been getting hard calls in both the rhythm and the free. The choreo step has been like a touchy subject. It's now kind of a competition on who chooses or who doesn't get an exclamation point, because that exclamation point can become from anything more than 2 arms length apart, can come from the slightest retrogression within the choreo step itself. I mean, also a little fall, like ice dance, like now it's really a matter of who cannot make a mistake. And that's sport in general, but really it's got to be terrifying for these skaters, because you could skate a great program right now and not even understand what the scores are, what's happening. But that's okay. So if you guys have any questions, please send them to me on X at US Figure Skating. I'm going to do my best throughout these practice sessions to answer them in time. If you have questions about ice dance, if you have thoughts or anything like that, please send them my way, and I'm going to do my best just to have this dialogue be there and kind of just connect with all of you. So what you're going to be looking out for is in the partial step sequence. The start of the partial step sequence is supposed to emulate somewhat of a walk-around turning thing, which took inspiration from the Golden Waltz walk-around turns. And then the end of the PST, which will be after the full lap of that footwork sequence, will finish with like the Tango Romantica helicopter, a own intricate creative version. Some might do the exact one, some will do their own interpretation of it. It's going to just depend on essentially the skater and what they've decided to do for it.
Skating
yeah,
now,
it's about to get crazy. I love watching ice dance. I learn so much every time I watch it.
Followed
Let's just say
by
that.
Loicia, Demougeot, and Theo de Mercier.
Skating first, the brother-sister Czech team, Katerina and Daniel. They are very powerful. I don't love how far away they get at the beginning there, personally. But I do love the attack. A little too much attack, in my opinion. Like, it's too forceful, but I do love the aggression. It doesn't feel so much like an embodiment of the energy. It feels like we're trying to show you we're in that energy, which is such a fine line because I like the attack, but understanding how you can live it a little bit more to sell it to me as opposed to perform it. I want you to take me back to the 90s. Like, a lot of these kids weren't even from the 90s at this point. It's like, what? Evgeniia and Geoffrey, Maddie and Evan, couple of the others, but everyone else is pretty much 2000 and onwards, so yeah. Love Thunderstruck in an arena. So cool. Very good swizzles, quite solid. Spacing stayed the same, which I liked the whole time. There wasn't like an accordion effect throughout it. So I like the aggression of the footwork, but if you're watching the feet and the edges and the quality of what's produced, especially when they're skating backwards, wanting to be aware of, like, watch for the toe pick. The way that the foot is placed, like, I know it's hard to be able to tell when a turn is clean. I can see what I'm looking for, but also at the same time, I think that there's such a delicacy and clarity for a level 3 or 4. So this is rotational lift here. I wish they did something a little bit different for that position, just a tiny bit. Don't need much of a stretch for it though. He really shakes his head. Like, don't get me wrong, I really think they're into it. So I like it. I love that a lot. I think that she's really embodying it though. If you watch how she really is feeling this, if you watch how Katerina was really feeling that there, I think that it makes a really good example of not over-delivering or over-forcing that energy.
Skating now, Loicia, Demougeot, and Theo, Mercier, representing France.
So 3 French teams here. That's quite rare for a Skate America. I mean, you might see 3 French teams at Trophy Eric Bombard. Well, not Trophy Eric Bombard, in the Grand Prix in France. So France has 2 spots for the Olympic Games. And this season, Laurence and Guillaume Cizeron have teamed up and put a lot of pressure on the top teams in the world, which then, I mean, makes it a little bit more challenging in France to get those Olympic spots. So a team like Alicia and Theo have been constantly showing up for the last 3 or 4 years and now are going to need to deliver even stronger performances to try to fit themselves in that position to be at that Olympic Games. Very solid twizzles here so far. That was fun. Interesting choreography there. Theo, I actually think, is a phenomenal ice dancer. I think that Loicia is great too. And please, if you're watching this, like, don't misinterpret when I'm talking about the guys more. It's not because I have a favoritism of them over them. I'm just more.
Program music time was 3 minutes. Skating now, Celina, Fradji, and Jean-Hans Fourneau representing France, followed by Evgeniia, Lopareva, and Geoffrey, Brissaud.
Skating now, this team actually, it's their first year senior on the international circuit. They were at junior last year, from my understanding. This is the choreo step that I was talking about. I think a lot has changed in ice dance anymore, and I think I'm just gonna say, like, a lot of people are like missing that compulsory dance effect because it was a direct comparison for most people. I'd say your closest thing for that comparison now would be the rotational lift in the rhythm dance. That's not a requirement by all means, but you'll see, I would say 85 to 90% of your teams, if not a higher percentage, doing a rotational lift in the rhythm dance, just because it's, I don't know, it's been scoring the best, and it allows for a little bit more excitement, per se. Skating now, Evgeniia and Geoffrey. This program's quite fun. I'm very happy they're in blue now. They were in red for the first part of this season, and I You see some rock. You see some I'm Blue. I think you'll see some so many other things. So it's hard to compare. Like, that's what's so hard about ice dance now for me, is that it's very hard to compare between skaters. Like, yes, you understand what's good. Like, you can see if the team is better at skating. This team so far for me is standing out the most for just like quality of edge. As you can see through this footwork already, this PST, there's 4 required turns. Each turn is required. So there's a mohawk, an outside mohawk. There is a backwards bracket that is required. So it's a back outside or a back inside bracket. There is a counter, and then there is a back rocker. So a back inside or a back outside rocker. Now this is where it gets really tricky, okay? The PST, you only have 2 counts for the entry and 2 counts for the exit of the turn itself. So a bracket, a mohawk, and even a rocker is not that crazy, but doing a counter that fast is so hard. Like, the precision and the execution that it takes to do that well is absolutely insane. And some of these teams are able to do it, but that's why you're seeing a lot of PST1s and PST2s, because these teams are just getting thrown into the deep end with weighted vests on, trying to do quality turns in such a short amount of time.
Hernandez representing
Fun program. Up next, Phebe and James. This is a team that I actually really enjoy. They have some amazing qualities. George Michaels. Fun little, ooh, that corner is gonna come quick. Hey. Fun energy in this program. Someone asked, what can people who don't often watch ice dance look for and understand why certain teams stand out from and receive higher scores than the rest? I mean, there's so many different things that come into play with that, but a lot of it comes down to like the quality that's produced. Yes, the turns and whatnot, but you can see with the execution and like the connection of a team, how they work well together, how their partnering plays into one another, and just how all of that pieces together. It's very hard because these details are very minuscule, but at the same time, I think that it's something that develops very slowly over time for the majority of skaters. And I think that that just really goes to show like the time in ice dance it takes to become very successful. It takes a time. There's the rollie I was talking about. It just gives an exciting effect, right? Most of the time it covers ice, it rotates fast. You can have powerful music with it. It just makes it a little bit more entertaining. It's probably why you'll see majority of them do rollies in the rhythm.
program music time was 3 minutes and 11 seconds.
Fun skate for Phebe and James.
There are approximately 25 minutes remaining in this practice session.
Yes, got a question. Is this where we write questions for your live commentating? Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is.
Correction.
So yeah, like trying to distinguish what's different about these teams is going to be so hard. If you do have questions, actually send them at US Figure Skating on X to me. You don't even have to tag me. You can just tag at US Figure Skating. Write that message, that question, whatever you got, and then I'll do my best to answer it. But to distinguish between the teams, it's so challenging here, everyone. That's what makes it very confusing for audience members because you don't have a direct comparison. Like if you saw a pattern of a Tango Romantica or a pattern of a rumba even, you'd be like, yeah, that team looks really good doing it, or they're struggling a little bit, or that was a little bit of a harder element. And that's like a direct correlation, not just to like the skill set, because like you could be excellent at lifts and bad at pattern dances, but like I think that good partnering and good tracking is what ice dance is, in my opinion. I think if we're missing some dance frame, we're in hold during the PST, but very rarely do you see a dance frame. I think the perfect example of a team that actually uses dance frame properly is going to be Chock Bates in the free dance. Now, if you watch like their footwork sequence in the free dance, and in the free dance in general, there is so much intricacy of dance frame within their free dance. It is insane. Like you can have an intricate free dance that's not in dance frame and it's still enjoyable to watch. For instance, the French team, Evgeniia and Geoffrey's free dance this year, or even last year, was intricate without it being hand in hand the whole time. But Chock Bates, I think, is a prime example. And I'm not saying that because this is Skate America, everyone. I'm saying it because they're the world champions, and they're the world champions for a reason. I think that their execution is very, very good, of just the integrity of ice dance for that purpose. Quanette, love the baby Brits. Are they getting a second assignment? Finland? Oh my gosh, that's a great question. I did see the Finnish team just withdrew, so they might be able to squeak one out. I mean, that'd be so cool for them if they could. I just know that, like, this opportunity here is already amazing. They had a really breakthrough season last year, qualifying their Olympic spot at the World Championships, which is so tough already. And they just have such a beautiful quality to their skating that I love so much. And I really think that it needs to be, like, shined a light on a little bit, because I think that there's so many great things about what they produce. Yes, there's a lot to refine. There's so much in there that I think that they can work on, but I think that the root of what they produce is very, very good. Are there any rhythm dance themes you'd like to see in the future years that aren't related to decades? Yes, I would love a tango or a waltz. Like, give us a waltz. I know that the population is going to be like, oh no, waltz. No, give us a waltz. Like, let the skaters be free in the free dance. Let them be free. Even like limits, like make the rules easier in the free dance and more creativity. Right now, there's so many tightness of elements that there's like 3 transitions in a free dance. There is no cool transitions so much. It's like element, skate to the next element. It's just, we're losing that. But I think a rhythm dance should be based off of like a rhythm or something that not a decade. I think it's fun. But I've yet to see a rhythm dance this season that I'm blown away with. People are really trying, and I'm not discrediting that. I think it's really hard, and I'm sure we would have struggled too. But I think that seeing a comparable style, there's too much difference here, and I'm sorry if it's boring for the population to watch 32 waltzes at a World Championships, but you're only going to watch 10 of them at a Grand Prix, so it's going to be fine. And I also think that it just shows that classy style. Like, show me good dance frame. Like, I'm sorry, and I know it's becoming redundant, but I am speaking not just for myself, but I know the skaters also want it. And they're really pushing for having that dance frame be integral at a younger age, like the novice levels. Even in junior, they're having the compulsory dances still stay in it, but they're allowing creativity within the positions, which is, again, I'm a man of creativity. I love creativity, but at the end of the day, for me, I think that we get to senior and it doesn't matter anymore right now. There's no requirement of a dance frame and a footwork, which I think we should bring back. I think that we should bring back even a 1 foot section in the footwork if you want to separate the mice from the men. Figure of speech wise, I think we should have a requirement of like 60 or 70% of turns in a recognizable dance hold at the same time. I don't know. Yeah, I could go on for this about this for hours. Do you have any music you wish teams had used for this rhythm dance theme, and why do you think so many teams went in such a similar direction? Well, a lot of teams went in a similar direction because that's what's probably going to score well, and because they wanted it entertaining. Like, I saw some really cool early part of the season, like rock programs to like Metallica. I saw some cool programs to Nirvana, and like, to be honest with you, the rules, they were told that they probably would need to change it because that isn't an entertaining dance style, which I disagree with, because you can be entertaining to classical music, because my version of what entertaining is like what you're drawn to, not necessarily if I'm smiling. Because I'm entertained if I go to a haunted house. It doesn't mean I'm smiling. I'm freaking out. I actually hate haunted houses, but I'm still entertained. I'm not saying someone needs to do like a thriller-themed rhythm dance. I'm just saying that entertainment is a very broad scale, which I feel is being pigeonholed into a small thing. What I would have loved to see, not gonna lie, Rockefeller Skank would have been so cool. Right about now, the funk soul brother. Like, would have been so fun if you want to get an audience like into it. Hard to skate to, but I think that it's so sick. Or maybe there's like a Moby program. Moby is so cool. Yeah, there's so much. JLB, what is your favorite pattern dance? Okay, so this is like maybe silly. I love the quick step. Biased because we won our junior worlds with it, but I think that it takes a lot of skill to not get whipped around in it. I love, I wasn't huge on Tango Romantica. I love Paso Doble. I love quick step. I love rumba. I think rumba is a very great one. We didn't really get much chance to do waltzes, and to be honest with you, waltzes were a little bit harder for us because of the size that we were, like smaller in stature. It always just looked smaller because waltzes are like a very big grand dance. So like a waltz would look phenomenal on, let's say, a Phebe and James, but might be a harder sell for a smaller statured team. Doesn't mean it wouldn't be as good, but it's just challenging when you are being given that. But listen, that's competition. How high can a male skater lift the girl to be legal? I thought it was shoulder level, but Madison and Zach did a press lift with his hands above the shoulders. Yeah, you can absolutely lift the hands above the shoulders. You just can't lock out fully. You can go up there. You can be up there. I mean, watch Fear and Gibson's free dance. Their opening lift, the stationary to rotational, amazing lift, super cool. Especially the second position when she's standing in his hand. But the first position, he is not locked out, but he is above his head. She is above his head and his arms are up. You just started learning pattern dance. Hey, congratulations. Keep it alive. We got to keep those, keep them rolling. Do you have a favorite pattern dance you'd like to perform yourself or watch others perform? I mean, absolutely. I love to watch rumba. Again, I'm sorry when I say that, but I just think it's so cool. And I think it's short enough that everyone gets like their, that spot in their brain itched. And it's quick enough that you can easily see by the first corner after they do the change edge of the opening steps, you can see who's like can skate. And then by the time the Choctaw happens, you're like, yep, they're really good and they're good. Everyone here is great. Don't get me wrong. To be at a Grand Prix nowadays, it is not. It's a huge feat. But I do think that I would love that. I think that we could like honestly go back to some lower level old school dances for the higher level. Like seeing a Killian, I know, again, my mom did the Killian in the Olympics in 1988, but like 2 patterns of Killian. So weird, but like done well and like without much movement, but it's like very clear, precise placement of foot, proper leans, very clear, quiet Choctaws. Like it's just like you see it, and it's not just a matter of how much you push. It's like watching that. It's like a good quality, quick, short, compulsory dance would be half the time of PST, and I think that it would just be fun to watch. Oh my gosh, for Jean-Luc, who's going to go from Olympics to Dancing with the Stars in 2026? That's such a loaded question. I have no idea. That's crazy. I love the crazy questions, don't get me wrong, but like there's no way I would know that. You would maybe assume Chock Bates and have the like marriage compete against each other. I would love to see Alyssa Liu on there. I think that would be awesome. I would love to see Jason Brown. I think Jason would shred on there. I think those types of personalities would also thrive in like a online setting, like not online, like a TV setting. I don't know. Who knows what's gonna happen? I think we just go day by day at this point because where we're at is a little, I don't know. It's changing week by week at these Grand Prix. I could go into the week thinking like, yeah, like that's probably what's gonna happen, and I am so wrong. So wrong. And I'm okay with being wrong. It's just I'm shocked when I see some things. Oh, what a great question. I generally want to know how ice dancers get such great knee action lilt in their skating. I'm sure it's probably just a lot of practice over time, but are there specific things they are work on to get better at that? Yeah, I mean, like, do you walk up and down stairs? Yeah, so that's already halfway there. I'm telling you right now. Next time you walk up and down stairs, just make that recognition of what that feels like. And then next time you get on the ice, try to emulate that same feeling of like when you press up, the same way you step up a stair on the staircase, it's the same type of knee bend to create that lilt. That type of knee bend will give you more flow. It'll give you that opportunity to like have that breath. When you go downstairs, you're absorbing more, you're like controlling. If you don't absorb when you go down those steps, you will fall. Like 100%. Same thing when you're on the ice. When you step on a flat surface and you don't absorb, you're going to buckle. So the idea is like taking that same concept, that ability to go down a step is what slows down the momentum. You can control the rotation if there is rotation, which there isn't on a staircase. But on the ice, now you can play with these two types of knee bends. Like going into that twizzle, like they stepped up, they rose up the same way because they wanted to create a release. Evgeniia and Geoffrey on the screen there. Going into the second twizzle, they go up, and then that up, that press to release allows to create less tension on and create a little bit of flow at the last second to create the rotation of the twizzle to maintain. So it's like little small things, but like I can guarantee you all do it every single day without even realizing it. It's just a staircase. Just don't treat it like the shopping mall or the airport where the escalator is flat and you just don't want to walk 100 feet. I need like an escalator that goes up and down stairs, just like a staircase does. So I hope that helps. I mean, are there specific things that they work on to get better at it? I mean, just recognizing, awareness, build from the ground up is what I always say to the students that I work with, the skaters that I work with. It's like build from the ground up. Don't try to think of your shoulders before you've thought of your ankles. Get your ankles under wraps, go to knees, go to hips, and then figure out what your ribs are doing, then shoulders, and then your head, and then like how that all aligns.
If we have mispronounced your name, please notify the announcer.
What are my thoughts on the character step? Oh my gosh, I see you guys on Twitter. Sometimes it's a hot take. Like, you guys don't like it. I don't like the fact that it's so, volatile right now. I think that staying in hold for the rhythm makes sense if you can have more freedom in the free. Otherwise, call it a long dance. If they're going to call it a free dance, like, give more freedom. But in the rhythm, I actually, you know what? I like it because it's the only element that doesn't really have a technical parameter other than, like, don't let go and don't retrogress. Yes, you can let go for 5 seconds, but don't get apart for more than 2 arms length, which sucks because, like, if you happen to have shorter arms, that makes life a little bit harder. Yeah, so I just think that it's a little bit right now watching it, a little bit too much spoon feed the panel in front of you that you're having fun. Just, like, go have fun. Like, just go skate. And, like, get the audience into it by being into it yourself and wanting them to come with you, not trying to ask them to come with you. Just invite them. And I think that the character step can be done extremely well if it's a little less like a annoying car salesman. And that's what I kind of get from it a little bit. It's like, hey, do you like it? Do you like it? Do you like it? You like what I'm doing? Hey, do you want to buy it? You want to buy it? That's what we want to try to avoid. So that was the first group of ice dance. I'm sorry, I'm like saying so many things. I'm trying to give you so much information here, everybody, as much as I can.
Alicia, Fabbri, and
Just like kind of give you as much input and
Marjorie,
ideas as what I got.
And Zachary, Lagha, representing Canada. Oona Brown and Gage Brown, representing the United States of America. Christina, Carreira, and Anthony Ponomarenko.
Second grouping.
Representing the United States of America. Madison, Chock, and Evan Bates, representing the United States
2 Canadian
of
teams,
America.
3 U.S. teams on this one. It's about to be a fun group here. Looks like you're going to see some more free dances out here. It looks like we're seeing 3 of 5 free dances and 2 rhythms. I'm so excited Maddie and Evan are doing their free dance because it gets you guys to see what I was talking about with that dance frame. If you have any questions, send them to me on X at US Figure Skating. I'm going to do my best to answer them. You guys are awesome at sending what you got so far. Looks like Maddie and Evan got some new costumes here. I don't know if they're practice outfits or they're their new ones. They look really cool though. The detailing, it's quite fine. It might be hard to see on this camera, but I can guarantee you when you see it in person and or see it on NBC's cameras for the event, you're going to be able to see those details. Yep, so you guys know the drill. If you have any questions, send them our way. Our being me. Jean-Luc, can you talk a little bit how the season is different during Olympic year and how you plan your season to maximize your chance to make the team? I mean, I'll be honest, the season should not be different in Olympic year. I think that you always want to maximize every part of your year and deliver the same way you would. It is a little bit strategically different, but you should still approach it the same, in my opinion. Because as soon as you start putting more weight on one competition just because it happens every 4 years, doesn't mean that it's like that much more important. It is important, absolutely. I mean, the Olympic Games are the pinnacle of sport, and I think that I'm so grateful that I got to experience one in my career. But I think that for sure, you need to think about the strategy as an athlete trying to make the team. Like a Chock Bates, make the team. 3-time world champion, they could stop for the rest of the year and they will still make it because of their history, in my opinion. I could be very wrong with that assumption, but that's not what's happening. But like, they've proven themselves enough and won worlds enough to know that if they needed the time for a second, then they're okay. Now, that's where it gets really interesting for the rest of this grouping, right? Because you have 2 Canadian teams, 3 Canadian Olympic spots. Piper and Paul have one of the spots, assumingly so. Marjorie and Zach, I think, kind of are a key in for the other spot. Now, the third spot is a fight between 3 or 4 pretty strong Canadian teams. Alicia, Fabbri, and Paul Ayer are actually one of those 3. They were at last year's World Championships, finishing 20th, I believe, or 19th. quite a bit on it from how it's developed over the competitions, is just a little bit more on the shoulder posture, making sure near the end of the program it's pulling down even more from the scaps at the back, just kind of keeping that neck as long as possible and grounded and dancing through that, not getting carried away in the dance and staying like too low and gritty. Marjorie and Zach brought back this free dance with a little bit of a different interpretation, made some changes, I think for the better. They have such a beautiful quality to their skating. It's very quiet. I think a team like this right now, with where the state of kind of like what's being pushed and pursued for the top of ice dance, I think a little bit more freedom from the neck up, a little bit like the shoulders, it's a little tight, beautiful arms, beautiful elbows, beautiful carriage for the most part. The skating's very nice, but it's just the shoulders for me. It's not even a matter of them rising up, it just feels a little stiff when it comes to like rotation. It stays a little bit kind of almost stuck, but not stuck. But nonetheless, exquisite. And this is a team that has the opportunity, in my opinion, to create a very powerful moment. This music, their vibe, Zach's intensity, Marjo's intensity, but with such grace at the same time, has the ability to like take your breath away. They're going to be looking for distance here, making sure they don't get more than 2 arms length. No retrogressions. Zach and Marjorie got exclamation marks in both the rhythm dance and the free dance at Skate Canada when they were there a couple weeks ago, which is just so costly. I mean, you're looking at losing upwards of 3 points, if not more, with a mistake like that, depending on the severity of the mistake. So cool if she could do an accent with her hands there, just when she takes her head down, like split the palms open, or even just make them more perpendicular to the ice. It's on the up kind of vibe, because it would just create like another level of like weirdness. I say weirdness in the most positive way. I don't say weird like, oh, that's weird. I say it in like, oh, interesting.
Program music time was 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Skating now, Oona Brown and Gage Brown representing the United States of America, followed by Christina, Carreira and Anthony Ponomarenko.
Skating now the Browns. This is a team that delivers so solidly, so consistently too. And it would be so nice. They're pushing, trying to squeak their way into an Olympic spot. 5th at last year's U.S. Championships. This is the team that really bends their knees when they're skating. They really get down in them. Which they're a smaller stature team, just similar to Caitlin and I were. So I find that for them, their biggest thing is going to be making sure that when they bend that tall, they lift in the opposite direction with their upper body so they don't get too buried in the... Whoa, I thought Gage was going to go a little too far back there. This is
Program music time was 4 minutes and 13 seconds. Skating now, Christina Carreira and Anthony Ponomarenko.
I think it's a very, very intricate program. It's a hard program to be able to
followed
skate.
by Madison, Chock,
Lifts,
and
2 lifts
Evan
very
Bates.
late in the program, but fits very well musically. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that is performed this weekend. Skating now, Christina and Anthony. Also another team fighting for that Olympic spot.
5th at last year's championships.
Fun
Music
program
time was
from
2 minutes
Christina and
59
Anthony.
Seconds. Skating now, Madison, Chock, and Evan Bates.
I saw all your questions. We're going to answer them at the end of
United
this
States of
after
America.
Chock Bates, and then I can get to all of those questions just so we can focus on what we're watching. So talking about the intricacy of framework, I just want you guys to like pay attention to how difficult this program is. Now, they went to Cup of China. You could say, was it early? Was it not early? But this program is very hard. I'd say their most technically challenging program they've ever done. I can't speak for them, but for me, watching it as a spectator and another skater, I truly believe that this is pushing them to their maximum limits. Before any of you come at me and say that's hand in hand, there's a full 1.5 to 1 revolution jump throughout all of that transition on curve to curve, so don't try it. Telling the audio people
playing music to turn it up a little bit. It's too quiet. I agree. You need this thing bumping. So this is going to be a tricky element because making sure there isn't a retrogression. Now that's considered a dance stop when he went around her because they were fully stopped, so a retrogression is allowed. But here, not getting 2 arms length. Good distance in that 1 foot section there. The level of detail work in this program too, like hands, arms,
Fingers, just everything is so thought out that it's so physically taxing to be able to do all of that work and not get too tired. And I mean, it's inevitable. You're going to get exhausted in a free dance. And if you don't, I don't think that you're giving enough, personally. If you're watching like the greats in skating and in ice dance particularly, they don't finish not exhausted. They finish exhausted every single time. Whether it's September, whether it's March or April, they're giving everything they have every single time. So just like the partnering through all of this here is where I was talking about that. Now again, I understand before you say hand in hand there, but through here.
The sneak back behind his head and then going back, unraveling during her Chock talk.
Like from waltz hold to reverse waltz hold, back to waltz, going back to waltz to fox, to waltz, like you don't see this level of back to waltz hold, like the whole footwork minus the one part at the very beginning where they're in a considered quote unquote easier position of a high Killian, like which is still in frame. They don't do a single turn from what I just watched. I have to really analyze.
Looks like he took down the pole a little too early.
So they've made some clear changes since Cup of China.
Program music
Trying to get themselves
was
set
4
up, not just for their event
minutes
here,
and
but
10
understanding
seconds.
the competition that they're going to have at the Grand Prix final is going to be a challenge. Not an impossible feat.
There are
Just opportunities.
approximately 13 minutes
So this is going to be such an exciting event here, everybody. I'm so glad you guys have been tuning in. Now let me get to some of these questions because I know there's quite a few in this feed that you want me to get to. Did you and Caitlin have a specific element in the rhythm or free dance that you found the easiest or most challenging to perform? Easiest to perform, honestly, I thought was a tie between the 1 foot section, the footwork sequence that we decided to do in the free dance, and the midline non-touch. I thought those were like the easiest because Caitlin is such a good skater, like so intelligent and so aware that I could just trust her. I could be on my sickest day or she could be on her sickest day and it would just I know she'd be there. And the footwork for me, I loved so much because I think that we had a very clear understanding of the direction that we wanted to go within our frame, like how we led one another. I think that oftentimes everyone always was like, oh, you're smaller, you're shorter, you're closer in height. That's a huge advantage. I'm just letting everyone know that. Like, that's a massive advantage when it comes to partnering because, like, the cues that I would have to give are so much more subtle because I would have it be more of a conversation between the two of us as opposed to I'm just a big guy and a small girl and I'm going to place you where I want you. And I don't think that so much is beautiful ice dancing, but that's just me. Again, this is one person's opinion versus everyone else that's out there. But that's what I loved so much. Any of those footworks. The hardest, the challenging to perform, I'm not going to lie, lifts. like lifts were hard for us. We were just like, we were not bad at them. We were pretty good, to be honest with you. But like being closer in height, like really didn't create for like rotational lifts to be an option that we wanted to explore, because they were just more volatile. But I was great at spread eagles, and Caitlin was phenomenal at balancing and being able to stand on my leg and do these beautiful aerial positions that made us look so big. And it wasn't something that was necessarily a weakness for us. We were quite solid on them. It's just that with the levels that are required and the expectation of being a certain size, it's just very challenging to keep up with a team that's doing a rotational lift, but they've also been doing it for the last 8 seasons. Why not? What do you think of the Shibatanis' comeback last week? I think it's awesome, guys. Like, I think that if they love it and they want to do it, I think that it's great. I think that ice dance has changed a lot, as I've discussed. I don't think we do compulsory dances. There's no more dance frame. There's still intricacy. It's different, and it's hard. Like, this sport is hard, everyone. Nothing is easy about it. And it gets harder, and they're way more strict on turns and what they're looking for now. Like what was required 8 years ago for turns, they were so good at, and they're still so good at what they do. Their dance frame when they're in it is exquisite, and like their posture is so good, and their level of performance. Speed has gone up now. Everyone can twizzle now. Back in 2018, 40% of the population twizzled consistently. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it was like, ooh, it's volatile. Now it's like, no. Like everyone is doing everything clean all the time. Straight up. So I think it's great. If they love it and they can still do it physically and they are feeling fulfilled with it, all the power to them. Why do dancers always do official practice in full costume and makeup, and the other disciplines are more casual in what they wear? That's a great question. I think that like it allows for a little bit more of a standout, knowing that the judges are here. I mean, if you're having 4 of 5 teams in costume and 1 not, I think that, to be honest with you, like you won't stand out nearly as much. And honestly, these costumes are so expensive that you might as well get your wear out of them. And all of my training clothes were ripped. Like my pants all on like the pocket of my left pocket from where Caitlin would stand with her blade had holes. Both knees had holes. Yes, you could buy new ones, but what's the point of buying a brand new pair of Lululemon training pants that in 4 days they're going to rip and break? Not much. Do ice dancers tend to do as much off ice as singles and pair skaters? I mean, yes, I think it's just different. Like, we have just as much of a full activation. I'm curious to know why you think we wouldn't. Maybe because we're not jumping or throwing or lifting overhead. It's just different. I think that we have like way more activation, like for ankle, knee, hip building up, a little bit of upper activation, and a lot of just like kind of getting in the same energy. Like, how do we have connection? How do we like build that rapport? It's already built, but we need to step into it. We need to step into that. Okay? I don't know if that answers it. Jolly, has an ice dance team ever done matching laybacks where they matched? Oh my gosh, that would be so hard. Just like physically, for like the physics of a dance spin, how you have this kind of like, because like when you spin yourself, you are like the center point. When there's a dance spin, it's 2 people spinning around a center point, which requires like your center of mass, like your belly button, to be more pulling back from one another, not your upper body. Because if your upper body, like let's say like your T-spine and up, from like your chest upwards, if that starts leaning back for a layback per se, and the hips go forward, you lose the centrifugal force of the spin. I'm getting super nerdy right now. I'm like literally trying to coach you on this. Why haven't you done it? It's really, really hard. And also to find a guy that can do a layback well and support the other partner. Because in a layback, in a dance spin, the guy is extremely supportive of what the girl is doing. It's not just like a she's holding herself like in singles, like where they don't have a choice but to hold themselves. It's such a different feeling. Dance spins are very, very tiring. It's probably the most tiring element of all of the elements because it's the most constant, where you're fighting to always find that centrifugal force, maintain it, and push it. Are costumes dry cleaned or washed? How do you keep them fresh? Yes, they are. All of the above. Depends if it's been airbrushed, then you do not dry clean that thing. You just got to hope that it doesn't smell too much, and more times than not. We would end up getting like a second version of the same costume around the December time frame just to be able to have like a sustained amount, which would then like for the second half of season. So we would then turn what was the competition of the first half of the season's costume into the practice outfit for the second half of the season, and then the new competition outfit for the second half of the season. So like at the Olympics, we had like I had two versions of the same shirt, and so did Caitlin for her dress. Maybe a little bit of a different cut, but almost identical, to where the neutral, natural fan wouldn't notice so much of a difference. And you just pray that you have a big enough break in between the practice, the day of the warm-up, and the event, because there is nothing worse than putting on a sweaty costume for the event. It sucks. So most top teams can achieve level 4 on Twizzles consistently, but there are some other elements that I never see anyone achieve. So yeah, I'd say like your top 30 in the world will all get a level 4 Twizzle. It is not like now they made some like level changes this year, and they're not accepting like a falling leaf into the Twizzle. It needs to be like a consecutive amount of things. That's why you're going to see a lot of teams that used to do falling leaf, like a small falling leaf step hop Twizzle, like forward inside, would essentially like be getting their level called. This year they changed that because they said that wasn't considered a difficult entry. So now you're seeing all these teams do a lunge entry, which I can guarantee you, can't guarantee you, sorry, that's not proper information, but I bet that by next season, the lunge will not be accepted because it's something that has been quote-unquote considered like a loophole. Because doing a lunge is not like so hard into a Twizzle. It's for this caliber of skaters. Do teams prioritize getting level 4 on Twizzles due to the value, or is it just much harder to get level 4 on turn elements? Yeah, I mean, like, so, like, in a free dance, let's just use that as an example. 3 choreographic elements, no level. So now we have 3 lifts. Pretty much need to be guaranteed level 4. Oh, that's fun. Oh, wow. Cool. Oh, you couldn't have exited the same. Oh, it's not an exit. 3 level 4 lifts has to be guaranteed because, like, everyone in the event's doing that. Your spin has to be level 4. If you don't get a level 4 spin, chow, that's, like, very easy to get a level 4 spin. Girls camel counts, guys camel counts, sit. You just need an upright. You can literally get it done. Bing, bang, boom. With an exit, you get a level 4. Should not be too hard. You need 3 revs in each position. So, like, check the box, get it done. So, again, every single person is getting a level 4 spin. If you're not, it's quite silly because it's just a matter of did you not count to 3. Now, when it comes to Twizzles, you need that level 4 because that's like a guaranteed. Again, you can guarantee everyone in the event is going to be getting the level 4 Twizzle. Footwork. Good luck. Bon chance. I hope you have a good life. Ciao, Bella. It's so hard to do a clean turn, especially with the standard of what it is now compared to what it was 3 years ago, and then what it was 3 years ago to 8 years ago, for instance, how it's developed. I think, to be honest with you, it's very hard. I think that more times than not, you're going to see rockers get called. Choctaws don't because the exit edge for the most part. Counters won't get called because majority of your population of skaters are going to roll the entry edge. So like for a forward inside counter, it's going to go forward, inside to outside, then do a turn, which would make it like almost like a 3-turn. It's so minimal, but it's like having that constant pressure. Again, I'm so nerdy when it comes to turns because I feel like I can explain the direction of how to get it clean, but I think that it's very hard because like the level of concentration and adaptation that it takes to be able to stay in that headspace is so it's so precise. So you could see a team that is phenomenal, like so good, and then they're getting level 1 footwork and you're like, what? Why? It's the small cues. It's the continuity. It needs to look continuous but also clear and not too deep to where you rip an edge, but it's deep enough to be smooth. But if it's too smooth and it's flat, then you're not going to get it. But if there's a small little wobble, if there's a scratch, that's a no. We could talk about it forever. So much. So this was a lot of fun, guys. Like, I really enjoyed my time with you all. I will be doing the men's event next with Jackie Wong, so please stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. We saw some amazing skating out here, and I will be doing this all again tomorrow. So you can tune in if you want to hear me or not. You've heard it today, but I would suggest you tune in because I think that would be super fun. I might even have another special guest to do ice dance with me tomorrow. She sometimes DJs, and she skated a little bit. She had like a long tryout with me. It was like 11 years. Her name's Kaylin, but we don't know for sure because she's got to like prep a DJ set for the event. But we'll see. I'm trying to twist her arm a little bit. So thank you guys all so much. Really appreciate it. Quick little ice break, ice cut. See you soon.